Morning guys, Matt from Sweatshed. Not made a video in a while, so I thought I need to get back to doing it. I wrote a blog post this week entitled 10 reasons people become unmotivated and what to do about those reasons. Stemmed from the fact that myself, I've been struggling with quite a bit of issues surrounding motivation and things like that. Struggling to train the last couple of weeks. Few factors kind of kicking about as to why that's happened. I'm going to mainly blame the dog. Bought a new puppy. So anyway, so I wrote this blog post hopefully to help people kind of work out why their kind of motivation is lacking, and then a few ideas on how to combat that. It was a long post, really long post, even by my standards. So I thought that maybe I'd make a few videos just to help cut that information up into sections, perhaps elaborate on a few little bits. And obviously these days not a lot of people like reading blog posts. They prefer to just have the information relayed to them through a video. So yeah, that's my reasoning behind making these videos. Also, going over this kind of information and topics it's helped me kind of work through my own thought process as to why I've been feeling down and a little bit sort of like off my training recently. So it's definitely been therapeutic for me. So there's a little bit of a selfish angle there, and hope that me working through my thought process probably is going to help other people perhaps notice some kind of similarities in their own kind of workings, what's going on in their head. So the first point was only seeing the bad and the negative kind of side to anything that happens. And you know, I'm going to try and keep drawing this back to exercise, because obviously that's the things that we all have in common on this kind of channel. But on a bigger scale, it's a vicious circle of, so you start to feel like you're lacking in motivation. You're feeling a bit maybe depressed, a little bit down in the dumps, and that kind of feeling causes you to have a more pessimistic view of the world and your surroundings and kind of the activities and things that happen to you throughout your day, and that kind of affects your opinion on your chances of success, which then kind of feeds back into the vicious circle of the lack of motivation starts again, or it increases. So when I've been kind of looking through this blog post, there's this term of, I think it's pronounced self-efficacy. I've never come across this kind of term before. It's a kind of a common idea, but it's got a name. And it's an individual's belief in their own ability to achieve. So basically, like if you believe that you can do something, then almost you're kind of halfway to achieving it, because you're almost willing it into action. Whereas if you don't think you're going to achieve something, it's very unlikely that you actually will, because your head doesn't want to do it or doesn't think it's possible. Then it's unlikely that your body's going to follow suit and kind of fulfill the actions that are kind of encouraged by or not encouraged by the brain's thought process. So we see this all the time in sporting stars, like footballers. You know, you might watch, I don't know, whatever, I'm not really into football, but you know, you see like a striker perhaps who's on top form. His confidence is really high, and you know, the betting odds of him scoring every week, they're really kind of low, because he's on such hot form that every game he plays he thinks he's going to score, because that's happened numerous times already this season. And then you see the flip side of that, when there's perhaps a striker who struggling to score a goal. You know, top level athlete starts like struggling to control the ball. You know, everything he does just looks like he's come straight out of a Sunday League team, even though, you know, this guy's perhaps last season or the season before was, you know, world class, and he still is world class. The only thing that's changed is this like level of self-efficacy has changed in him, where his motivation started to lack, and he's kind of already doubting his own ability to score a goal or to be successful in an action that he's about to perform. So it's there for everyone to see. It does exist. So basically, what I presented as a way of kind of combating this was, it's easily said and not necessarily easily done, but we have to start to try and actively look for the positive like things that happen to us in a day, and I'm just as guilty as anybody else. You know, I'll start to dwell on things that go not my way in a day. You know, the dog pisses on the floor, or like there's traffic that's not normally there at a certain time of day when I'm trying to get to the gym, and I'm straight away I'm thinking, you know, things are out to get me already today, and it's not even fucking 8 o'clock on a Monday or whatever. So it's dead easy to fall into that negative kind of mindset where we focus on the bad things that happen to us, you know. And I'm pretty sure that there's no one in this, perhaps I'm going to say no one in this world, perhaps, you know, elsewhere in the world, there's, you know, people struggling a lot more than we are. But in this modern world we live in, no one has 100% bad luck, that only bad things happen to them. You know, the good stuff that happens might be minute, but it's good. It's not bad good. So we have to try and start to look for these positive, good actions that happen to us, and spend more time accepting those actions that happen to us, rather than focusing on the negative stuff. By focusing on the negative stuff, we're conditioning ourselves to only notice that stuff. So something bad happens, straight away, like, fuck this, fucking, you know, day's ruined, traffic. You're instantly, you know, like I said, you're conditioning yourself, and you're more sensitive to noticing these negative actions, because you kind of, that's your main focus. We need to start deconditioning that and reconditioning ourselves, if you will, to noticing the positive stuff, and accepting that a win is a win, no matter how small that win is. If it's a positive kind of tick on the board, it's a positive tick, nevertheless, how the size of it. And once we start to open up to the possibility that, you know, positive things can happen to us as an individual, or as a, you know, as a collective, it makes that kind of, it feels like the chances of success are more likely, and therefore it makes giving things a go, or trying actions, or, you know, activities or whatever, makes doing easier, because you think that it's not in vain, and that it could potentially have a positive outcome. It's not already predisposed that by doing this it's not going to end well. So that was kind of like a bit of a long-winded explanation of that point, what I was trying to put across with that point. So let's look at it in terms of exercise. So I've just kind of ran through a few ideas in my head. So we've got things like, so perhaps you're not trained for a while. Mainly this is a lot aimed at a lot of people at the moment that are struggling to get into the gym. They're struggling to kind of get some consistency going with the training, which I also have recently. So let's look at it. So perhaps you put weight on, okay? Summer, it's starting getting cold. Summer happens, so we put weight on over summer if we're not trained very much. We start to get cold, which means we start to want to eat more. I don't know if that's kind of a genetic thing within us, that kind of we want to start storing or creating body fat to keep us warm, but that definitely happens. This time of year we start going out more. There's like, Christmas is coming, there's bonfire, there's Halloween, there's, you know, all that kind of stuff that starts to happen. So we put weight on, and we get down about that, and that creates lack of motivation, because we're like, fuck, we've just done this once, oh my God. We start to focus on the fact that we've lost this weight perhaps, or we've been at a better point and now we're at a worse point. Well, the thing is, like, the positive there is, you were once either lighter, you either once have already lost that weight, so you know how to do it. Like, it's nothing you haven't already seen before. It's not like you're trying to, have to step into this realm of, like, unknown territory. You know what to expect. You know what you've got to do. You've got to start eating better. You've got to start getting to the gym. You've got to start doing all those things that you were doing before. So the positive there is, you've already achieved it. Fair enough, like, it's not nice to have to repeat these things, but you have already done it once. So the positive is there is, you know what to do. Just do it. So that's like a weight-based one. Maybe kind of moving away from the weight, but that's still gym-based. Maybe you've not been to the gym for a while. Like, so I bought the puppy, barely trained for about a month. I'd made loads of really good progress up to buying the puppy, and then I didn't train for a month. So I'm like, oh my God. So I've got this kind of template of a workout program that I want to do, I'm dreading starting again because I've not done anything for a month. I know that everything that I was working on isn't going to be where it was when I left it. So that means I'm going to have to do all this stuff again. It was already hard the first time round. I got it to a good level. So everything that I'm going to do is going to feel hard again. There's going to be a lot of stuff that I can't do again because I've kind of was at my limit of ability, and I have to take 5 steps back and rework over all this material that I've just spent months doing. So I'm focusing on like how hard things are going to be, how sore I'm going to be because I'm out of practice of a lot of the movements I've been practicing, and I'm focusing on all the bad stuff instead of focusing on the positives. So like, it's material I already know, so I know how to do it. I've just got to do it. It's nothing new, like I mentioned before. Getting back to a routine of regular training, I'm going to feel good again. I'm going to feel healthy, fit, strong, positive about my body again because I'm going back to exercise. So I need to stop thinking about, oh God, woe is me, I've got to go over all this material again that I've just done, blah, 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 blah. And just do it because the outcome after doing it is so much better. So I've started back 2 weeks in, I've been back on my strength training, feel great. The stuff that I'm doing in the sessions, by my standards, way easier than what I'm capable of or what I was working on pre-dog. But it's a lot harder than the 4 weeks of stuff that didn't do anything. So I'm making progress again, whether it's progress based on the last 6 weeks or progress based on the last 6 months. It's not progress from what I've been doing over a 6-month period, but it's definitely progress what I've been doing over a 6-week period. So yeah, I'm focusing on the wrong stuff, focusing on getting back to my life and back to a routine of regular training. That is a positive, so I should focus on that. Things like traffic, so like for example a Monday or whatever day I don't drive in rush hour traffic normally, but whatever day is worse for traffic. You booked on for a session, traffic's a nightmare, your boss has asked you to stay late, your plans on getting to the gym are ruined. So you got 2 choices. You either go home and train, or you just take it on the chin and accept the fact that today's been a forced rest day. And then perhaps if there was a day that you were going to rest or not go to the gym in the rest of the week, just make that a training day. Or get up early the next day and come to the gym, or go out for a run, or go and do something on another day that you wouldn't normally do. You know, you've got 6 other days to find a day to work out. Just because one day has not gone to plan doesn't mean the rest of the week is ruined. You know, so don't focus on that one day. So a 7th of your week, focus on the 6/7 of the week where you've still got God knows how many hours to still get workout in. You know, it's not like you only have one opportunity to train in a week, whether that's a home workout, a run, you know, I'm not saying you have to come to Shed, but go to another gym, go and do something else somewhere else. Go for a swim. There's so many options. You know, you've got to start to think about the positive and the opportunities that are there for you as someone living in Manchester. For the people that are watching this living in Manchester, you're not short of a few opportunities of, you know, go out for a walk. We've got fucking millions of parks. Half an hour walk around the park is more than what you would potentially do because you've thought that your week's ruined because you didn't make it to your Monday night class. You know, so focus on the positive, not the negative. And get into a session is going to potentially, create a new streak. So just get that session done. Whether the traffic meant that you couldn't do what you had planned, but you went for a run anyway. There's the start of your weekly training. You know, it wasn't what you were gonna do, but you still did something. So it started that week off right. Good stuff happens all the time. Monster on offer in B&M's. I'm happy already today. It's cold today, but it's not raining, so you look at the positive there. You put on a pair of jeans that you've been in your wardrobe for 2 weeks, there's $5 in the pocket, there's something positive. Good stuff happens all the time. You just perhaps want more, you want something more positive, like amazing. I don't want to find a $5 in my pocket, I want to win the lottery, stages, everything is, relative. So yeah, that main point, that first one was stop focusing on negative, bad feelings, bad vibes, negative vibes that are going to feed the lack of motivation and the kind of the feeling that you're not going to do well at an action or an activity, start focusing on the positive. All I got to do is do this workout. All I got to do is just maybe eat a salad for dinner. All I got to do is just do that, and then positive stuff starts to happen. Get to 1 workout a week, get to 2, then get to 3. Next week, maybe you train every day. I don't know, you know, traffic today, but you get home early tomorrow. Just good stuff happens. Stop focusing on the negative and dwelling on that. Open your possibilities and eyes to the positive stuff that happens on a daily basis that we just ignore, and you'll find that that motivation slowly starts to creep in. So I'm thinking it's a bit hippie for me, but I'm thinking of starting like maybe just for a month, like a gratitude diary. I've seen it all over like Instagram and Facebook and whatever. And just making a note of things that you should be grateful for, that you perhaps take for granted on a daily basis. Maybe, yeah, daily. Let's do a daily one. You know, I'm not gonna make it public, but I'm thinking it would be very beneficial for me to just jot down a few ideas in a day of things that have happened to me that are positive, or that I perhaps overlook and don't appreciate. And then I would probably start to feel like my life's not that bad. You know, like most people's lives aren't that bad. You know, it could be worse. And that should help feed the motivation and start that positive ball rolling. Okay, I'm waffling now. I probably was waffling after the first minute, but I hope that kind of padded out that point a little bit more. Well done if you stayed with us for that whole rant. And I'm going to break down each point that was in that kind of blog. It might actually turn out that it's quicker to read the blog than watch these videos, but I think these videos should be useful because I am going to kind of elaborate on the points that I was trying to make in the blog post. Okay, let's get motivated together, guys. Time of year now where we all need to sort of like pat each other on the back and drag each other through to January, onwards and upwards. I'll see you on the next point. I can't remember what the second point was, but yeah, I'll see you on the next video. See you later, guys.